Welcome to the QQEvolution training class in the imaging section. To access the imaging section within a customer's account, you will need to click on the imaging option in the standard toolbar at the very top of the page. Now the imaging section is a standalone feature and can be minimized so you can work in other sections of the client's account within QQEvolution, or you can access other accounts. Now if you do access other accounts, you will need to refresh the imaging section. With the QQEvolution imaging section, you can drag and drop documents into your customer's account. You can export documents that are stored in the imaging section to a file on your computer, as well as scanning directly into QQEvolution within the imaging section. Once you have accessed the imaging section within a customer's account, you'll notice on the top you have one toolbar with several sections. Starting on the left-hand side, if you needed to add an additional document or file to a customer's account, you're going to click on Add. You can attach this particular or associate this particular document that you're attaching to either the client's overall account or a specific policy within the customer's account. So if you change that radio button to policy, it'll list all the policies that you have for your customer. The file is where you're going to select, the file section is where you're going to select Browse, so that you can pull any information that you would like to store within the customer's account from your computer. So you would highlight your individual document. Now the information does tell you exactly which folder it is in. Your description will automatically pull from the file that's being stored on your computer, but it can be edited within QQEvolution. If you click on the select option here all the way to the far right, you'll be able to choose the most commonly used descriptions within your office. You can also type in an additional description. So we can go ahead and select that, click on OK, so it replaces the description name with whatever you've selected. If you wanted to delete the file that was stored where it was originally stored on your computer, delete it after it gets uploaded into the customer's account, you're going to select this box. You have a choice to add a custom memo, otherwise the system will automatically default to a specific memo title or memo description. But if you wanted to create your own memo description, you can do that. Just type right in there and you picture. You can set also reminders. Now please keep in mind that the custom memos do get saved, as well as the memos that get generated from the system will be saved in the memo section, as well as the activities section within QQEvolution. Now if you do not want the file to be deleted from your original folder on your computer, just leave this option unchecked and then click on Add. Once that image is uploaded, you'll be able to see that within the section here on the left-hand side of your screen. Within that same section, you have the option to delete any image that you've highlighted. You can edit the description, as well as reassociating this particular policy or this particular image to a policy or the client's overall account. You can open the file in a much larger page. You can export this to a file or to a folder within your computer as well. And then you can also have the option to refresh the screen. So if you're uploading your images and you don't see the changes automatically occur, go ahead and click on refresh to make sure that you always have a fresh copy of that. If you look into in our toolbar, we have a section for grouping. So if I needed to merge my two accounts together, I can do that. So if I wanted to merge two pages or two documents into one, I would highlight both documents and select merge. Once you choose that option, you're going to be prompted to enter a description. You can leave it to whatever the system defaults it to, or you can simply create your own and then select merge. Once you do that, the system will merge those documents together and you will see that the pages are now combined. If you wanted to merge this document into a document that's stored on your computer as well, you can do that also. And you can split each document. So if I wanted to split pages 1 through 2, I can enter that information there and choose to split it. So once you split those documents, you will see them apart. Okay. Scanning into QQEvolution is done by Twain, by your scanner that's associated with your computer. It will need to be Twain compliant. If it is not, you will not be able to scan into QQEvolution. To determine whether your scanner has the Twain drivers, you can select the Twain source. Once you do that, you should be able to recognize which scanner is associated with your computer. If it's not located here, it does not have the Twain drivers. If you do see it here, that means that it is compatible with QQEvolution, so you're able to scan. Once you're ready to scan your document into QQEvolution, you're going to select the scan option here. This will open up your window to select again if this document needs to be associated with the customer's overall account or a specific policy. You'll also be prompted to enter a description for your document. The system does generate its own description, but if you want it to be a little bit more specific, you can either type that in there or click on Select to choose the most recent or the most used description. If your description is not located in this list, you also have the option to type it within this section. Show Scanner's interface will allow you to use the defaults that are set specifically on your scanner. If you notice, when I leave this option unchecked, we have a DPI setting that appears. So this is where you can select your DPI settings. We don't recommend to go anywhere higher than 600. 200 or 300 should be the best settings to choose from, but we definitely would not go all the way up to 600. We don't recommend that. By default, your file format will default to a TIFF file, so if you needed to change that, it can either be saved as a JPEG or a TIFF. And you also have the option to force the black and white, which would take out any color that's stored or that's added to that document that you're scanning in here, and just scan it as a black and white document. That will also help you when scanning with your DPIs. If you have several pages that you are scanning at one time, you have the option to scan each page separate as a separate file, or you can prompt the system to notify you when you need to scan the next pages. As we saw before, we do have the option to add a custom memo. So when we save this document, within the memo section or activities section, we'll see that specific memo labeled and associated to this entry. If not, the system will automatically generate a memo for you as well. And again, you have also the option to set a reminder. So if there's a follow-up that needs to be done pertaining to this particular document that you're scanning, you can set that directly here. Once you click on scan, your scanner should start pulling in that information into QQEvolution. Scan into allows you to scan a document right into a page within that has already been saved within QQEvolution. Same thing, if you're not going to be setting your own DPI settings, then we recommend to choose the Show Scanner interface. You can choose to force the black and white coloring, and you can prompt the system to advise you when to scan the additional pages. We have another area for viewing that allows you to change how you're viewing the documents that are saved within the imaging section. So if I wanted to hide my thumbnail view, I can click on that option, and now you see the way it views it. It's more like a thumbnail view. We can hide the preview, which takes away the panel on the right, which shows the picture and gives us a little bit more room. So when I highlight a document, I have the preview that kind of shows me the smaller version of whatever document is in there. But if I don't necessarily need to see that, I can remove it as well. I can change the view or the size of the icons that you see within the imaging section. So right now my setting is at medium to show me in the medium, but if I need to view them with a much larger picture, I can do that as well. Or I can choose a smaller icons to view them as very small icons. We can change the way we sort our documents. Right now they default to the date added, but if I wanted to sort them by description, I can do that as well. The last section that we're going to look at is the Other section, and this is where you can attach any Mercury PDF documents that you have that need to be stored within a customer's account. You can access through this section here. You can email, you can print any document that is stored within the QQ Catalyst imaging section. So if I have something highlighted I need to email, I can do that as well. So now it prompts me either to take that image and either print it. So my printing option defaults to print, but I can also change that to email. And I can go ahead and now enter the recipients that need to receive the email. I can add a carbon copy. I can access my Rolodex here on the right as well. I can type in the body of my email, as well as either pulling in a template email letter that I may have created. Okay, and just click on send to send that information. Going back to our Other section, we have also a way to return to QQEvolution and close the imaging section as well. We have a help feature that can be accessed through this area as well. Okay, and one other.
Also in Evolution, you will have the ability to drag and drop emails from your Microsoft Outlook inbox directly into the imaging module in Evolution. I'm currently viewing a customer account here. We can see the client's name in the top left, Jonathan and Emily Martin. And if we go over to the Images tab up at the top towards the right, we can click on Images to open up the imaging module. This should open in a separate window for us. So here are the images that we currently have attached to Jonathan and Emily Martin for all of their policies. You do have the ability to filter by policies, as well as some other additional action buttons here in the toolbar as far as in order to drag and drop our email from Outlook. Let me bring over my Outlook here. I have created a test email for this purpose. So here's our test email message opened from Outlook. I'm just going to click and hold and drag this from my Outlook inbox over to the imaging module here for our customer. And when we release, we can see the image is attaching to our client. We can specify the policy, enter any additional description, custom memos, or even set up a reminder date if necessary. And we can click Add. And that image, that email, is now attached into our images section here. So we can see it is a message. We can see the name of the email. If I double click on it, it will open up the original email message as it was in Outlook.